Okay, so here we are again. We've dropped in, once again, working for House Davion. Um, Going against a Torian Lance, looks like with backup, so there's a support Lance as well. And we are immediately in combat. We take a salvo from this light mortar carrier, carrying 3 mortar 4s, a tag, and an RL-10. And fortunately it does miss, but it does look like it lays mines. Is that what that is? I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to start just by sort of waiting them out, keeping our nice evasion as long as we can. There is a gigantic LRM stalker over there. At least I thought it was the LRM build. But with that light salvo, I'm beginning to suspect. Okay, so this is more of the close range build. Double large laser and LRM-10 for long range things, but a little bit of battle fatigue. So that one large laser is just taken offline. That will help us out a little bit. This is only a 3 skull mission because currently with our faction reputation with House Davion, that's the highest that we can take. So hopefully this will go up a little bit soon, but we do need to do a couple more missions first. Let's go ahead and reserve down again. What I'm thinking right now... Okay. A bit of a miss. There. What I'm thinking right now is we can try to cook the Stalker with Bomb Squad and the Marauder. There is a Roughneck. I'm not really too concerned about that. This looks like a relatively poorly put together Op 4 that we're going against. It's not necessarily a composition I would have picked, although the AC2 carrier is nice, lands some light damage against our Timberwolf, just sort of accidental fire there. And we do have a rear attack coming in against the Nova. I'm not quite sure what that was. It might have been AC2s, might have been light rifles, something like that, I'm not entirely sure. And if we wait one more time, we do have somebody, probably, yeah, so it's a 70-tonner hiding in the back there. It looks like another heavy mech, and that is a Cataphract. Probably an LBX AC-10, I want to say, on there, but now that I make the prediction, probably incorrect, but I think there is a Cataphract build that holds that. So no LBX, just a standard AC-10. And now we get the chance. Okay, so there is a minefield here, but we have to run through it. We don't really have much choice. No jump jets on this Ostrak, unfortunately. So we'll run through it and take a little bit of light damage to our legs. Actually, no, we don't, because McWraith has the ability to not trigger them. So let's take a look at our accuracy here. Not a lot of great options. Not a lot of great options. We're gonna pin that C3 Master on the light mortar carrier. I do want those mortars offline because not all of our pilots have that, and unfortunately we mess with the C3 Master, which acts as a tag for the most part. So we do miss there. And here's what I'm thinking: we can drive the Nova up the middle. But do we have anything with a nice sensor probe other than Bomb Squad? In the Marauder, I thought we did, but we don't. I always think that. I guess I need to start rethinking that a little bit here, because it has generally not been true. So let's move up. Not the best accuracy here against the Stalker because of our Odin Sprint, but let's go ahead and shoot in. Quad Plasma Rifle, landing 2, so with 50% accuracy, that does make a fair bit of sense. And we'll start to cook that mech over there. Can we do a custom path here? No, we can't. So we will be running a little bit through the minefields with this Timberwolf. But that is okay. We'll survive. As long as we know how to love... Wait, no, maybe not. We'll send him right up the pike. Not a lot of damage there to either leg. I guess a little bit to our right leg, but nothing catastrophic. And we'll go in with the ATM-9 on standard and the ER large laser against the pike support vehicle, simply because it's our best shot. Our best shot currently, which is not a very good one, but so be it. Move up with the Atlas. I don't think we'll be firing this turn, at least with the improved heavy gauss. We can get better accuracy there. But what I do want to do is, well, we did very little damage to that guy. Let's see. Okay, decent accuracy against the pike support vehicle. We'll turn off the improved heavy Gauss. We're going to fire LRM-40 AoE, and if we get lucky, we might be able to at least expose that side, or potentially take it down, depending on how the clustering goes. We do expose that structure, we do a little bit of damage. My guess is that vehicle is almost dead. 14 internal structure remaining, which is not very much at all. And now we'll go and move up with the Nova. We want to avoid those forest fires. They're actually worse than the landmines that preceded them, in my opinion, because at least the landmines didn't give us heat. Now that there's fires in those locations, we will get additional heat, reduced heat sinking because of it. Let's fire in... yeah, may as well fire the SRM-6. Okay, no, this is a tremendous waste of LRM ammo to do this, so let's just fire with the one LRM-20. It should be more than enough. And it is, so that's one vehicle down. Looks like we're currently facing just these two lances. I'm kind of expecting reinforcements, though. Given that the payout was 2 million C-bills, I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I'd kind of welcome the challenge, considering we've dropped now 8 mechs of our own. We have 6 in our primary, 2 in our secondary, which is effectively 2 whole lances. So this is a 2v2 even fight, and well, as most of you guys know, in most games, not just this one, but most games where you can get an even fight against the AI, that's going to swing in your favor with relatively high certainty, and, well, it's not exactly exciting. So we'll hope they'll drop in 1, maybe even 2 additional lances, although 4 lances might be raising our expectations a little too high. We have done a little bit of extra damage to that Stalker. I'm not sure we'll continue with the heat plan there. The Axeman really needs to be replaced. He's not quick enough. I'm getting tired of using this UAC-5 as long-range support. So, okay. Inbound Leopard, but it has Rimmer markings, which means that they're going to start fighting with those Taurian lances, and if that mech does not move, that mech is going to die when the enemy is dropped. Never stand underneath a drop zone, allied or otherwise. You will get absolutely wrecked. The Stalker, proving it's not really that impressive. Let's keep waiting. I see no reason to move quite yet. And per usual, we're sitting down at Initiative 1 for most of our stuff. So let's see. Can I take the Chameleon around back end? Yes, but is that worth it? That's a lot of internal structure, and the Chameleon pays for its speed with strength. So we don't really do all that much damage with that guy. On the other hand, we can't get far enough. We cannot get far enough up for a nice sensor ping. So I think what we'll do, we'll move up the sprint and turn around like this. Not really presenting our back to anybody right now. And we'll come in, shoot at the rear of the Stalker. And, 2 structure exposed. We do destroy heat sink, for what little that's really worth for us right now. But we are starting to work on the internals of that right torso. Big gun coming in. That looks like an Oststall, I want to say. A little bit far away, a little bit grainy. I might be wrong about that. Nope, that is another Cataphracts. So we're fighting 2 Cataphracts here. But okay, so one's the 1X variant, which looks like a laser boat, and the other is a 2X variant, carries an AC-10, SRM-4, double medium lasers, and a large. Yeah, I'm not particularly scared. We have much better armaments on our own mechs at this point. Let's run up here. I do want to see if we can kill that mortar carrier, and if they're not going to move it, we may as well fire in, see if we can tag him with the C3 Master, which we do, now that the guy is tag marked. And this would be a good target for Bomb Squad because heat damage deals double in raw damage to vehicles and turrets. Nova taking a bit of fire, not exactly what I want. But check the armor there, pounded right into the CT, which is actually, mixed blessing there, right? On the one hand, that CT goes, we're out. Structure exposed, crits, we're out. On the other hand, it's our thickest armor on a relatively lightly armored 50-tonner. I was really hoping he'd avoid that shot, but alas, no such luck. So if we move up here, we have a shot on the mortar carrier. Not exactly the best accuracy. We get a little bit better. Yeah, so we're going to spread over this way. We're taking 4 shots in at this guy with 80% accuracy, well, 79.7 for each shot. So I'm expecting to land 3. Wow, okay. We only needed the first hit to kill that guy, so the plasma rifle Marauder is proving once again it's just absolute anathema to vehicles, to turrets, and in 1v1 dueling situations where I can just burn people out. If you guys haven't seen the duel episode from earlier this week, I highly recommend it. We just completely cook the opposition with that plasma rifle build. Okay, so if we started working on the rear of that stalker, let's move up here to sprint, and let's start working on this cataphract that's right in front of us. The MRMs don't have the best accuracy, they're just firing normal rounds on Apollo, but we have enough of them that if we can bore through with the pulse lasers and the ER mediums, we might be able to get something, and we don't get a structure exposed off the bat. And because of that, those MRMs are a little bit wasted, no crit seeking at all with those rounds. On the other hand, we very nearly opened the left torso as well as the CT, so we should be able to get a decently good follow-up. And this is the time where our LRM 40 build hopefully will shine. So we'll sprint up here. We'll turn this into the Art 4 ammunition, 88% accuracy against that cataphract. Alternatively, we could shoot into the stalker from the front, but I see no reason to do that. So let's go in against this cataphract. We can use the heavy Gauss. I think what we'll do is we'll Battle Lord, and then to avoid cooking, I'm going to turn off the medium pulse. Well, we'll keep the medium pulse on, we'll turn off the ER large, and let's see what we can do. So we land the heavy Gauss. Oh yeah. We just killed that cataphract from the front. We could even have salvaged it if we took the salvage, although our maximum option was 3 of our choice, not 4. So we would have had to get lucky with the 4th pick, but with the second cataphract on the board, that's possible. Unfortunately, you never know the op 4 before you drop in, and we're looking for cash at the moment to keep upgrading the Argo before we really do anything else. So we'll come over here now, and we'll turn to reasonably protect our back here. And let's unload on the back of this stalker, see if we can take it out. I've got good money on that we can, and we do. So first we rip off that right torso, then this Nova is probably one of the better flanking mechs I've seen in my time, and it's all thanks to those 2 Clan LRM-20s. We did pick up some Clan LRM-15s between this episode and the last one, the previous mission on this planet. I'm not showing you guys every mission just because we have a lot of the same mechs oftentimes. So I'm trying to show you either new and exciting things or just, you know, I don't want to skip too many fights in between episodes either, so if I'm going a couple fights in a row, I'll show something that you guys have probably seen before like this. I mean, my standard lineup here, the first 4 mechs, has been the same for a while now. Unfortunately, that Axeman is no longer new and no longer really that helpful either. So I think my headphones are dying, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. I do hope you guys couldn't hear that, but if you can, whatever. You'll get over it. So the roughneck, we just tore off the arm and torso. I wish we'd torn off the torso first. We could have gotten some damage into that CT, but it didn't actually work out that way. Let's move up at a sprint here, and we could pop the defensive formation, get everything a little bit extra defense, but no reason to really... Oh wow. My headphones are being remarkably persistent on the fact that they need to be charged. Let's fire in everything at this roughneck. Unfortunately, very little damage. And I'm gonna have to switch my headphones here. I do apologize. Just give me just a moment. Okay, so we're back with the other headphones now, and the Rimmer Lance has dropped in, and it's impressively heavy at first glance. Okay, let's see what we've got. Blackjack PJ1, Quick Draw, Crusader with... Oh, wow, that's a lot of rockets. That is 120 rockets, and they have 2 salvos, not 1, because they're the reloading variant. Could give us a little bit of trouble. Particularly that Ostrog, which is in a prime position to get fired at least if the AC2 and the Roughneck, well, the AC2 carrier and the Roughneck had less evasion. Let's wait this out a little bit here. We've destroyed fully half of the Taurian forces, so of the 8 that dropped in, they're down to 4. Which kind of makes this, again, 8 versus 8, although now there's an internal division there too, but it's really 8v4v4 is the best description. Griffin making a move and not shooting, which is always a questionable decision. Of course, it does have 60% damage reduction at the moment, which is admittedly pretty safe. So he really shouldn't be worried about himself this turn. It's just that he's not helping his team either. What we could do, if they stay tightly packed, we could go back, we could fire the rest of our AoE LRMs, because that's a very tight cluster that will make the overall amount of damage dealt almost certainly worth it. Looks like the light AC2 carrier is firing it at the Marauder. That's alright. That Marauder will probably kill that vehicle pretty soon, just because pounding the heat into that thing is a relatively effective use of our Marauder at this point. And that reinforcing Rimmer Lance is just not really doing much. I hope their Cataphracts. Oh no, that's the original Taurian forces with that Cataphract 2X, pounding into the Blackjack, getting a little bit of damage there, and exposing his rear to our forces, so really not the smartest move. They do have a vehicle, an 80-tonner vehicle, hidden in the back, firing in at the quick draw. So they're fighting amongst themselves, and our entire lance has yet to move. So we'll move here. I want eyes on that vehicle, and the Chameleon could go over there and kick him, and that would be okay with me. We are going to precision strike just to slow him down and increase our own accuracy. He's carrying a lot of AC2s on board, additionally fielding a 40% damage reduction right now. Otherwise, we might have come close to killing that vehicle outright. Let's see what we can follow it up with. So we have the Nova. We come up here. We'll get fired at from most angles. What I'm thinking is we go right there. We preserve our good accuracy, but we deny the rest of the board a firing position at that Nova unless they crest the ridge, which I sincerely doubt they will. This is probably not needed in its entirety, but no kill like overkill. And I actually am glad I fired all of those. We might have ended up in a situation where that vehicle was left with 1 or 2 internal structure remaining, and that would be quite obnoxious. We've done it before. It's relatively good that we avoided doing it again. Let's move on the sprint here, try and take out that Cataphract with a nice rear ankle shot. This Timberwolf is wonderfully effective for such things because, firing these ATM-9s at the HE modes, that's 12 damage times 9 missiles, which is quite impressive. I have 2 of those on this guy. Should be able to rip right through the back of this Mac. Let's see if we can match that. And we do. That's another mech destroyed. We're a bit of a buzzsaw at the moment. I'm hoping we can get up to high reputation with Davion soon. For 1, I want their faction store, but for 2, I would really like to go back up to 4.5, 5 skull difficulty missions because, well, we're fielding the right tonnage for it, and those would be relatively entertaining. We will be going and doing more flashpoints soon, probably right after this episode. We'll go do another one. Or, since, well, these missions were inspired by having to wait between flashpoints, we might go back to a game world, do another couple of duels, And I'll mix up the mech that I'm using so that, every time I go in and do that, you're not seeing the same Marauder build having the same sort of strategy against those Gladiator mechs. And if we do that enough, we might be able to score some relatively unique mechs of our own, which I can then use either standard, or we can modify them with our own sort of favorite designs. I'm going to turn off the improved heavy Gauss for the moment because its accuracy is a little bit below what's reasonable. I'd rather save that up, go back up to 80-90% accuracy on the next turn. And this mech has already lost 2 side torsos. We are boring right through it. But without that improved heavy Gauss, it's not enough to take that rough mech out. There was actually a bit of a visual glitch there, so we were showing damage to internals that we weren't actually doing. And here I am saying the word actually far too often again. And yes, I say again because I've very much done this before. Known problem. Okay. Yeah, that salvo with the Atlas was basically pointless with this rear angle shot. I really should have looked at this sooner. But I had assumed that our Atlas would be able to take this guy out. Thanatos not able to get the job done. Oh, okay, we do. So that mech in vanilla sort of operating system anyway would still be on the field, but because there is the pilot ejection, pilot panic mechanic here, we did take that guy out, and now all of the Taurians are off the field, which I did on purpose, actually, because, there it goes again, actually. I did that on purpose because I'd rather us fight all 12 of these mechs than have them fight each other. We can certainly afford that sort of fight without too much difficulty. Okay, quick draw, Crusader. I do want to slow that Crusader down. Where's the best accuracy I can get against it? That's right here. So we'll move in with the Allstruck. We're going to Precision Strike the Crusader and tag him with the C3 Master, improving the accuracy of our entire lance against that mech. I want those reloading RL-20s off the board. We'll go ahead and let the Blackjack go. It's not a real large threat there. Though, okay, I think that was friendly fire for his own lance, not damage on the Allstruck. And let's see now what we can do with the Marauder 2. So, not excellent firing positions unless we go, well, we can go right about there. That works. We're getting close enough to these guys. I think an active probe ping, okay, you get 3, not 4, but there's no real reason to use that right now. Instead, let's do a precision strike on that Crusader with these 4 plasma rifles right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not the best damage. He does have 40% damage reduction, and those only do 50 base anyway, but we do slow him down to 3, which is sort of the goal, is just make that mech move last and try to punish him as much as we can before he moves. So we'll move up the Nova as well, and we're just going to keep pounding away into that Crusader. Most of their mechs have pretty decent damage reduction, so this isn't exactly a waste either. Okay. Lots of missile fire going in. We do have a head hit, but his gut skill was high enough to avoid that light, probable, MRM hit into his faceplate there. But we are starting to really strip armor off this guy. So if we look, that left leg is down to 26. The CTE is still up at 102. They're really pretty resilient with, as much damage reduction as that lance has right now. It's actually quite impressive. What we can do is we can get a nice sprint up to the top of this rock, because we are, of course, kings of the rock. And I'm going to turn off one of those ER mediums so we can cool off a little bit, alpha strike at the next turn. And we do miss a very high accuracy laser shot, but we're firing into the rear arc of that Blackjack. Decent hits. Blackjacks don't usually have the best armor anyway, so I'm taking a rear strike into the Ostrak. Luckily not a lot of damage coming in from that. I think the quick draw missed somehow. Oh, right, 5 evasion pips. And not the heaviest armament on that quick draw either. So the Axeman still woefully out of actual melee range. Okay, what can we do here? We can shoot in. Yes, this is what we're going to do. We're going to precise strike this Crusader one more time. And you know what that lets us do? That lets us hit it with the Atlas before that guy has a chance to go. We did land a pilot injury. He's bleeding out. 2 activations remaining. So similarly to what I said on the previous, now we could ignore him and just let that mech die naturally. But the last time I wasn't talking about a mech with RL 120. Anything that guy points at is going to take damage, if not die outright, without good evasion. So we want this mech dead as quickly as possible. But I also don't want to waste a lot of resources on it that are unnecessary. So what we're going to do, that's an obstructed shot. I also have, okay, so no excellent way of getting a shot in at him at the moment. If we go up to here, we end up maintaining accuracy, it looks like. We get a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and precise strike here. Now, this is not an attempt to slow him down anymore. That's really not effective at this point. It's an attempt to hit with the improved heavy Gauss, because we need to get through that 40% damage resist that has so far kept this mech from suffering too greatly. Loading in with everything that we can, which means the medium pulse is unfortunately offline. And we miss with that 80% chance with the improved heavy Gauss, which will mean that we do need to follow up now with our other resources like the Thanatos. We can get, is that obstructed? No, that's just a standard side angle. And I want to take that leg down. I want to take the entire mech down, but I've been singularly unable to do so. The Crusader has proved admirably resilient, but we do finally get internal damage. And those RL-20s are blowing up all the way through to his CT. That's a mech destroyed. Very nice. Very, very nice. Now what we can do is we can capitalize on the damage done to the back of this Blackjack by our other mech, and we can try to take this guy out, or at least, I mean, quad medium pulse, we can at least try to rip off one of those side torsos. If we get lucky with clustering, we don't. A little bit of extra damage to the back of that mech on that left torso, exposing internals, but not enough to take him out. And we can't quite get a rear shot here either, at least not on this turn. So we'll move the Timberwolf up and around. I would be absolutely terrified if I was in this Rimmerlance, just being swarmed by an absolute buzzsaw of a opposition here. We'll not shoot at the Blackjack because we're making good progress into his back. We're going to go ahead and shoot in at this Griffin. I'm a little hesitant to use 18 of our HE ammo. We'll eat the penalty to damage and accuracy here. Well, we need to cool off. Let's cool off. And then we can follow up with everything on the next turn using those HE rounds more effectively than we could have previously. Let's see, what's the right move here? Push up the Marauder. We're cooking now. If we use all 4, we need a little bit better heat sinking on this mech than I currently have. Let's go in at the quick draw, just because he's sitting a little pretty for my taste. We land 2. Plasma residue pushing the heat on that guy up. If we landed 3, we probably would have been in a pretty good spot to take him out. But alas, that's not the way. And this Nova, unloading with the LRM-20, should be able to take out the Blackjack BJ-1. See what we can do. Lots of damage piling in, but surprisingly that Blackjack is still standing. That's the first rear strike that Nova has been unable to take something out with. A little bit disappointing. We're going to have to look at the scattering damage there to understand exactly what went wrong. Okay, so he's just hanging on by a thread, both of those side torsos. So we really got unlucky with our clustering there. What we can do... Oh, jump jets on this guy are pathetic. Yeah, let's do that. And now, precise strike's probably a little bit unnecessary, but I want this mech off the field. And there it is. He's destroyed. And now we just have that Griffin and the quick draw left to go through. Griffin firing into the Marauder. Light contact, nothing serious. And let's see what we can move up here at initiative 5. We have the Ostrock, we have the Timberwolf, and let's see what we can do. So we can get a rear angle shot on the quick draw. We can precise strike to boost our accuracy, and even with the nerfs to precise strike in BTA 3062, I still find it's very, very useful. Well, actually, we'll Battle Lord instead for the extra damage potential there. Go in on this quick draw's rear arc. Yeah, that's a mech destroyed. I wish I had a second one of these Timberwolves. We'd be nigh unstoppable in lots of situations here. So we'll come in with the Ostrock, precise strike, try and get the C3 on this Griffin. At this point, it's a well foregone conclusion, although I would have said it has been for a while now. We even have good accuracy with the Axeman. Okay, not bad. Well, okay. Pretty bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, we can move up. If we hadn't have fired in and missed the previous turn with that improved Heavy Gauss, we'd have much better accuracy here. As it is, to avoid from cooking using that Battle Lord, we have to turn off both of our laser armaments. We'll keep the LRN 20 for the crit seeking on that exposed structure. Somehow that mech is still standing. We did just rip off both its arms and it looks like the right side torso. And the Thanatos can probably deal the finishing blow right here. Yeah. There it is. And that'll be the mission. So, thank you guys for hanging around. We'll see you next time.